It's really great to see voices like you who are coming to the Iraqi parliament and Iraqi legislative process with fresh ideas, trying to challenge the status quo of politicians who have from all ethno-sectarian backgrounds in Iraq, who pursued agendas that stem from their own views for where Iraq should be and how it should be governed. And I think people like you have changed or at least forced some change in the narrative and in the debate in Baghdad and quite frankly even in Erbil, and we will talk about that. I will probably start from unpacking what you just said in your introductory remarks. I think they are very important points that you have put forward, and it's a great idea to start by unpacking some of those. And let me start with the thing that everybody is having on their mind these days. Iraq, of course, just finished a major security project by scoring an impressive victory against what perhaps could have been considered the most or the greatest existential threat to its polity, to its fledgling democracy. That's the threat of ISIS. 1/3 of Iraqi territory or more was lost to this terrorist group. A lot of human toll and sacrifice, and you just mentioned to us that it's about $90 billion to reconstruct the damage. But in order to meet those challenges that are ahead, I always say that the defeat of ISIS probably is the easier part of the process. Exactly. How to put society back together, how to engage in reconciliation, and rehabilitating the society, and bringing communal relations back, and also, of course, the bill of reconstruction, all of these. And this needs stability, domestic stability and regional stability. Yet we see an escalating threat. Iraq is not necessarily a part of it, but it is in the middle. It's in the crossfire of any possible conflict between Iran and the United States, and also some of the regional players. So how does Iraq view this conflict? What are the fears? And can Iraq be an actor or a player in the possible conflict resolution? How is it seen from Baghdad? We know how it is seen from outside, but if you put us in the kind of on the other side of the view and tell us how Baghdad is viewing this in this escalating conflict.
Well, you mentioned an important point is that we defeated ISIS, but in order to rebuild the country, we need stability internally and also regionally. That will affect all of the projects that we are trying to put together to bring back Iraq or to take back Iraq to normalcy. Not just saying like too much progress. I'm not really claiming that Iraq is a Switzerland and we have no problems. I'm trying to say that Iraq is trying to become more normal, like a normal state, acting normal. Which we appreciate the international support and the regional support, Iran, Turkey, and other countries who supported Iraq in different times. However, and also the good thing, which we really hope that is really true, is that both Iran and the United States are saying that they don't want war, which is incredible, and we don't. The last thing we want in that part of the world is another war. But the conflict, the reactions that targeting each other's opponents or proxies, that really hinder the progress in Iraq, and that will distract us from strategic projects. I can tell you an example, many examples in Parliament, as we experience, not just only executive power, which they also been distracted by this conflict many times. Each time when we see a tweet which mentioned us and Iran or something about some elements in Iraq, related to Iran, the parliament will stuck. And we really need to move forward to pass many bills or amend many laws that the executive authority is asking from us to do that for them. But that is the last time when President Trump made the surprise visit to Baghdad, or to Iraq, not actually Baghdad, that I think slowed down the progress or the strategic plan we had in Parliament for a couple months. We couldn't do anything because we were not sure if the Parliament can have a session, or what is the major topic is going to be. Because I think if you ask the Iraqi government and the military commanders, they still need the international support. The US Army and the international coalition in Iraq for training, for to defeat ISIS, because this is we won the war against ISIS, but the battle is going to continue in other forms. We are far from it to say like we are fully able to protect our country, especially the west part of the country. But we were not sure if this is going to lead to the evacuation or forceful departure of the US forces in Iraq, which will create the tensions, and that's the last thing we want with the United States, and will really create an opportunity for radical groups to exploit that situation and then come back to sectarian and ethnic divisions in Iraq.
Speaking of this relation between Iraq and